Today I have an interesting project planned. I'm going to be showcasing my brand new baker's peel, and then I'm going to show everybody how I use it. So here you go, here's the peel. I bake off a steel sheet. It's 14 by 16, so the surface of this peel is 14 by 14. Anything that you make on this peel cannot be bigger than the sheet that you're using in the oven. So it's 14 by 14. It's made out of maple. It's all laminated. And so you can see the seams and stuff. This is all done by hand. This was taken out of a cheek from one of the logs. So a lot of it was grain that was real close to the bark, and it would have been unusable for almost anything. So I decided to burn it up. And the other thing was it had knots in it, and it was all close to really swirly grain. It wouldn't have been useful for anything. So I went ahead and just designed a kind of a crude handle, kind of like based off like a baseball bat knob, just so that it doesn't slip off your hand, right? And then the middle of it, the handle runs all the way through the middle of the peel, and it's flat on the bottom, so everything along here is in the same plane. So you can rest it on the table, and it won't be lumpy. It'll sit flat and everything. It'll behave itself. And then I added kind of a spine through here to stabilize it, and then I rounded it off with one of the round planes that I made in an earlier video, and then just sanded it and kind of did some rounded curves and used some big washers and made a corner on everything, and then rounded this over. And then also I took a big bevel. I came back about 2.5 inches and I beveled everything. So through here, this is like 9/16 or a half, and then through here this is like about 3/16. So there's a little bevel, and then the bevel runs through the corner, and then it ends and it becomes the full thickness again. So it's a little on the heavy side, but it's just what I wanted. I sanded everything to 100. I didn't go too crazy. And then I finished it with food grade mineral oil. I put 2 really heavy coats on it, wiped everything off, keep it clean. You never want to put this in the sink. Try and just use a wet cloth or paper towels to keep it clean if you need to. And definitely don't put it in the dishwasher or anything like that. This is not going to survive that, even though it's got waterproof glue. So I'm ready to make a pizza. So this is going to be like a 2-part project, alright? So this is the peel. All done by hand, designed by hand. There's no video on it. The only place you're going to see it is right here in this video. So the way I do it is I have cornmeal and flour mixed in a spice container. It's got the perforated top on it. You need to create a barrier so that the dough doesn't stick to your peel. So go ahead and put some on the peel. This is the way I do it. You don't want to do it this way? Do it another way. If you don't do this, the dough is going to stick. Alright? Then what I do is I put this to the side. Now my oven is preheated at 550 on convection. That's a 30-pound steel sheet. That's going to hold all 550 degrees of heat. It's going to go directly on the stone. It's going to come off the peel, and it's going to go directly on the stone. So my ingredients are caramelized onion, almost a full can of black olives, 1/3 pound of part skim mozzarella. I got some fresh oregano in there, and some grated provolone. I'm going to put anchovies on it. Now the anchovies, the black olives, and the onions are traditional Southern Italian ingredients. So you want to Google that or get a little ethnic on that. That's my agenda. Those 3 flavors all work very well together, believe it or not. I know a lot of people don't like anchovies. Well, you don't know what you're missing, okay? This is a contrast in flavors that work together, but more importantly, they work together traditionally. Okay? So I got my dough right here. My dough's been rising for a few hours. Show everybody that. Okay, that's 2 cups of flour, 1 package of yeast, a tablespoon of sugar, a pinch of salt, about 3/4 cup of water. What I do is I put it in the blender, and then I blend everything and I let it sit for 20 minutes. You have to consolidate the water with all the other ingredients. So let it sit for 20 minutes, then blend it again very well, and then let it rise at least for 2 hours. And you need the proper moisture content. See the way this is like a little sticky? You need it to be a little sticky because the water has to be able to activate the ingredients and give you lift. That's how you get the dough to be airy and fluffy and have bubbles in it. So at this point, you absolutely cannot use a rolling pin. It won't work. If you do, you'll just flatten everything. Okay? You're not going to let this rise. You're going to transfer this dough from whatever surface you're using to spread it out. You're going to use that. You're just going to transfer it right to your peel. And I wouldn't be too concerned about whether it's an irregular shape or if you have thin spots or thick spots. Okay? Now the other ingredient I'm going to use is canned tomato sauce. It's nothing fancy. It's going to come right out of the can. Alright? So here's the peel. Alright. Here's the dough. Okay. So now the first ingredient that I put on is the caramelized onion. Now you have limited working time because that dough wants to stick to the peel. So this is the process that has to move as swiftly as possible. Alright, the next ingredient, which I usually sprinkle by hand and spread out, is the olives, the cheese. So this is mozzarella cheese, about 1/3 pound, some grated provolone, about 3/4 can of black olives chopped finely, mixed with some fresh oregano right off the windowsill, right off the flower box in the windowsill. Okay. Get that going. So the oven's been preheated at 550 for over an hour. The heat has to be soaked in the stone. And you're going to set your oven timer for about, pizza will be done in 10 minutes. I want to make this a little extra crispy. A little extra, the 11th minute is going to help drive out some of the moisture in this pizza. So now the last thing I put on before I put the sauce on is going to be some fillets of anchovy. So if you don't like anchovy, then you're not going to do this. But these are traditional flavors. This is how it's done. This is how my ancestors would make an onion pie or some of the other dishes that go back in my family history a long, long time. And I'm sure people in my grandparents' hometown are still making breads and pies and cakes or whatever it is that they make with these same ingredients. And I dash a little bit of this olive oil on there, load it with flavor. Okay. So now I got my canned tomatoes, crushed tomatoes. Can't put too much because this is going to liquefy. A tomato is mostly water, so you don't want to add too much moisture to this pizza because you won't drive enough off of it in 10 minutes, and then you'll end up with a volcanic mess of liquids and leaking, sliding, hot mess. Final ingredient, some grated cheese. This is Romano. You put whatever you want. You could put more grated provolone if you want, whatever cheese you like. You got your homemade wine here. You always got to have some of that. Alright. I'm not going to film this, but this is going on right on the cookie sheet. Okay. There you go. Now you got a little bit of some crumbs of the cornmeal and the flour. So you're going to just clean that off. I put it right in the sink. Use a dish towel or whatever. You can see on the back of it, it gets a little sooty from the carbon that's on the pizza sheet. That's fine. You're going to take all that off with your paper towels or something, but you're not gonna let water touch that peel. This is gonna last several lifetimes. Okay, and if you're a baker and you want to do what I do and cook on the steel sheet, you need one of these. Okay, so I'm gonna shut off the camera and then I'll pull the pizza out and we'll see how it comes out. Alright, time is counting down. I got my peel, so I'm right-handed. I'm gonna hold the peel in my left hand, and I have one of these things like a barbecue tool, and that's how I'm going to lift the pizza and get it up onto the peel a little bit. You just got to lift it a little bit. Pizza looks beautiful. Alright, there you go. It's 11 minutes in the oven at 550. Let's see, just lift up the crust a little bit. Give everybody an idea what it looks like. You can see the cornmeal under there. You can see I got some lift out of it, right? Some bubbles. It's not flat. It's not like a pancake or a cracker crust. It's a little bit of lift in it. Gonna let this cool off a little bit. I'm not gonna cut it and dig into it or anything. I could tell already that it looks great. So it's a two-part project and I'm gonna call it a success either way. I made a pizza or two on it already, but this is the first time I'm filming it. So I want to leave everybody with one question. I'm going to leave the comments open. I'm going to let you like or dislike this video. My question to you is simple. You can answer it in the comments. If you don't want to answer in the comments, just answer it for yourself. What is your most powerful tool that you own? Tell me. And in my next video, I'll tell you what mine is. Okay? This is going to be a little way for us to all get on board, put some skin in the game. We'll get to know each other, and maybe we'll make some fun out of it. In the meantime, everybody, stay strong.